Alright, so this is the last segment before we get to the important lunch segment that all of you are waiting for. It's a very short segment, and what we're going to do is we're going to speak very briefly with two of our featured hawkers that we have featured in our photo exhibition. In a while, you'll be speaking and hearing a little bit more from two young hawkers, Weili and Weisheng, who both have been in the hawker trade for about a year and a half now. So they should be able to answer some of your questions and also share a few of their stories for you. And they have definitely a very interesting story for you. So without further ado, Weili and Weisheng. Hello. Okay, so very quickly, could you just introduce yourself to us?
Hi everyone, I'm Weili.
Could you tell us how old are you guys right now?
I'm 28 this year. No, sorry, 29.
yes, it's 2013.
26.
29 and 26. Okay, could you tell us a little bit more about what you do for your business right now?
Okay, we're running a store at Tanjong Pagar Plaza. We sell cookies and ramen. Yeah. And our store is around one and a half years old.
How did you first start getting into cooking?
We started baking at home, and then we decided to find a place to sell ramen. Yeah.
Yeah, because baking at home is illegal. Yeah, so you can sell something, so you can go sell your cookies.
How did you start getting into the ramen business? Why ramen?
We love ramen, so we decided to do something related to ramen. Then we went to source ingredients, everything, information about ramen, and then managed my store there.
Okay. Now, I remember you shared this story with us. Now, if you look behind you, you see some pictures of you from a very early time, definitely. So, how did you start getting into cooking? I remember it was because you were a little bit chunky, like me. Could you tell us a bit more about that story, please?
Few years ago, during poly days, we were quite obese, and then we decided to do something to our body.
We change our lifestyle, we learn to cook healthy meals for ourselves. So develop the love for cooking also.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And how did you go about perfecting your ramen recipe? Because ramen is really intricate as well, right?
We kept trying for many times. Got our friends as guinea pigs. And then the first bowl was horrible. My friend said, don't ever sell this bowl of ramen to And then things improved. After a while, we read magazines, went online to search for information about ramen and bought ramen magazines to find more about the dish.
Okay. And I'm just very interested to know, how did your family react when you first told them you wanted to do up your own stall together?
Parents have always been very supportive, friends as well, and they've always been encouraging us to set up our own store to pursue our dreams.
Okay. And what's it like doing business with family, with your brother?
Fun, easy to communicate. Yeah.
Weisheng?
Yeah. Better to work with my brother, because if I work with a stranger or a friend, then maybe we don't agree on certain things, then maybe we'll break the friendship or something like that. So it's better to work with your brother.
Okay. And just very interested, what to you makes a good cookie, and what makes a good bowl of ramen?
Good ingredients and quality ingredients. You cannot cut your ingredients because you're going to save cost.
Standard must always be there. And it's quite difficult to source for ingredients in Singapore. Because certain suppliers, they don't really cater for you because you're running a very small store, then your quantity is small. So you have to keep cooking. Yeah.
I think some of the hawkers, potential hawkerpreneurs right here might be interested to know, was there ever a day when you felt like you wanted to give up at your business? And obviously you're still a business, so how did you overcome that?
I don't think we've ever thought of giving up because it's our dream. But it's tough to be this line. And since we're young and new to this trade, I think there'll be many problems we'll face. So it's not easy.
Weisheng?
Like, because if you go to a hawker store and you see an old uncle frying char kway teow, you'll say it's nice, right? But if you see a youngster cooking char kway teow, you think, "Aiya, cannot make it, then you just walk away." Yeah. So that's one of the problems we will face.
And final question from me is, how do you maintain a decent work-life balance? And yeah, with your friends and your family?
Actually, we don't really have time for even ourselves right now. So if we have free time, we go in to gym, or that's some personal time, or go around Singapore trying restaurants and see how the product is.
A little bit of market research, yeah? Okay. Any plans to expand the business in the next 10 years, as Mr. Luke said?
10 years, maybe, but not at the moment.
Alright, now we open it up to the floor. Anyone has any questions for our dear ramen and cookie brothers? Hi, yes.
How long was your planning process to start up the business?
6 months, 1 year. Yeah, 6 months, 1 year.
Do you want to tell us what went into the planning process a little bit?
Actually, our planning is not very good because it's our first time, and then we learn along the way.
Does that answer your question? Yes. Hi.
Just curious, I thought that ramen and cookie is the most aligned combination.
Yeah.
So how do you came about this idea? How do you pitch it?
We have many customers coming to us, hey, why cookies and ramen? Because we started selling cookies, and then we don't want to, we wanted to continue the cookie business, and so we just continue selling our cookies.
Definitely very concise. Any more questions? Yes, please.
What is the biggest challenge you have during your operations?
Biggest challenge during your operations?
I think it's the waking up hours. We have to wake up at 5 PM every day. It's very tiring. Yeah.
So you catch up when you sleep?
Yeah.
Public transport? Hi, yes.
It's a very pragmatic question. How much startup capital must you have before you start a business?
Ooh,
And next one is, when do you break even?
tough questions. How much startup capital do you need to
and
start
a
the
ballpark
business?
figure. A ballpark figure.
A ballpark figure, and roughly how long did it take you to break even?
For this store, rental is quite cheap. So we use about 10K for the capital. 7 and 10K. Yeah, around that.
And how long did it take you to make that back?
About 1 year. We got lucky because we got publicity from bloggers and television programs.
Okay, thank you.
So what, 7 to 10K? Yes.
What was your biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake. Oh yeah, the wrong calculation of cost and everything. The startup. Because we had no experience.
Could you tell us a bit more like what calculation mistakes you had earlier?
The gas and food cost. The gas and the food cost. Because I think we couldn't find anyone selling ramen in the hawker centers, then we couldn't get any advice from people. So we miscalculated the gas bill, utilities bill. Yeah.
answer your question? Anyone else? Hi, yes.
Hi, what are your marketing strategies, and like, do you have any other kind of strategies to compete with the big boys like Ramen today, or do you even think of competing with them?
No. Because I think it's better to be unique. Because you can never be number one. Some people might like pork broth, some people might like chicken broth. Yeah, so it's different. So it's better to have your own specialty. So people come to your store just for your ramen.
And any like marketing strategies to improve your own business?
We're still working on it.
I think one of the things they mentioned was getting in touch with food bloggers, which they were also quite lucky to have. They also had press coverage as well, right? So definitely, like what Mr. Lee said earlier, try to get your word out to friends who blog about you. Any other questions? We can take about 3 more questions. Hi, yes.
Was there a point in time where you were losing money?
Was there a point in time when you were losing money?
During festive seasons, like Christmas, people tend to travel more, and then you get few customers.
Is it because of location or just?
The location is not very right for selling ramen. We find
Where's your store located right now?
Tanjong Pagar Plaza.
And what kind of crowd do you usually get?
Mostly foreigners and youngsters. Auntie, uncles, not that many.
Bit of lunchtime crowd from the office areas around by?
Mostly from Shenton Way, Tanjong Pagar. Yeah, Raffles Place, I think maybe a few.
Okay. Any more questions? I think I can take 2 more questions before we proceed. Yes.
Considering manpower issues too, is a place run by just the 2 of you, or do you all hire like employees, and if so, what are some of the challenges hiring and
Right now, only 2 of us are running the store. I think 2 of us is sufficient for this small store. But in the future, if we have a bigger shop, we will need to hire more people. But it's not easy to hire people. Find manpower.
One more question from the floor. Hi, yes.
Maybe on hindsight, would you have made a different business decision if you had a chance to? For example, the choice of location or anything?
If you could make any changes in what you've done so far?
I think this place is good for a startup because the rental is cheap. It's easier for you to try out stuff that maybe when you have a bigger store you don't have a chance to do. So no regrets on this spot.
Any other things you might have done differently?
Yeah, the marketing part. We should have done more on the marketing part.
Okay. And one final question for everybody here.
just curious, do you have had prior working experience elsewhere before you did this business venture, or this was like the first thing after you graduated and stuff?
After I graduated, I started working at a few restaurants, one Japanese restaurant and one Western restaurant, just to see how the kitchen works. For my brother, he worked at a
Marutama ramen. Yeah, so I toast. I learned something from them while being a waiter there. Yeah. For me, I think 3 months. 3 to 6 months.
So both of you
about 6 months.
Okay. Do you have any advice, as a way of closing this segment, any advice for our budding hawkerpreneurs?
If you have a dream, just go to it. Pursue your dreams.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.